Got another video for you. Today we're going to be building, you guys look dirty. Today we're going to be building my breaker for all my transformers. So I'm going to try to get it built this afternoon. Going to be some welding, some cutting, some other stuff. I'll stick you guys on my head when I can. Set you up otherwise on the other stuff when we're cutting and welding and whatever. All right, guys. We're gonna do some cutting today. What I'm gonna be using is this little VEVOR. It's a 50 amp. It cranks up to 50 amps on 240 or 220. I'm running 220 right now. I run it almost full blast, but I'm gonna be cutting 1/2-inch steel plate over here to make this press block. So I'm just gonna start cutting and I'll kind of explain it how I go about it as we get down to that. And what I'm doing here. What I'm doing is cutting a plate to go in here to fill that in. I might have to notch it for this, which I might do just to keep it locked in there. And then I got to build some uprights. I got some ideas on how I'm going to make my blocks slide. And but anyways, I'll show you guys as I go here. But some of this is already measured out. That needs to be like 20 3/4 what it needs to be, and that cut right there is pretty close, so I'm just going to kind of follow that cut for now. This drop off piece, I may end up using this for my two sides. I'm not sure yet. If not, I got enough sheet here I can cut something else. We're going to cut it about right there somewhere. And it ain't got to be perfect. I'll grind it perfect. I've got a belt sander in there, grind that shit right down. I am going to use this for a straight edge though, which would help. On this next cut. Okay guys, there's going to be the base of my breaker, and that's going to work out pretty good. About the right size. It's a little bit big, but I'm going to notch this out a little bit right here to accommodate that 1/2-inch square box style there, so it locks it in. But I'll clean these up with the belt sander, and we'll go from there. It's a little bit wide, but it'll be all right. We'll work with it. What I need now, I need my 2 vertical plates. I don't know how tall they need to be, but these might be tall enough. We're just winging it. We're gonna wing this thing. That's plenty tall enough, I would think. If I cut that in half. Let's see here. Where's the tape measure? I had another tape measure. I don't know what to do with it. This is 9 inches, so that's going to be 4.5 inches tall on each side. Those are pretty tall breakers or transformers, but boy, those don't come along very often. I think I'm just going to go ahead and make another one this same size and go with it. And if I need to cut it down, I will. But for right now, we're just going to cut out another one right here. I need a marker or something to mark this with. There we go. And scratch it in there. Like I say, guys, this stuff ain't got to be perfect. It's just a fixture to break stuff in. Let's turn this around. Actually, let me go sand this. Get this flat. Good enough for me. Grab my safety glasses. Last thing I need is a hot piece of metal to the eyeball. That'll work. That's the two sides. Now we need these will go here and here. Well, like this. Might go the other way with them. Yeah, we'll go this way with them. Like this and like this. Clean them edges up. we can actually overlap that like that. And fit in there better, tighter. So I'll probably go that way like that. Like so, and that'll give me a little bit more throw for my my next thing I'm building. Okay, let me go grab the next thing we're gonna cut up here, guys, and then we'll make our slides. Okay guys, this is what I'm gonna use to tighten each side. I'm gonna cut these off right here on both sides, and that's gonna be my adjusters for each side. I'm gonna end up either welding this solid or welding this in solid, but I'm gonna blow the hooks off this. This is an old binder I don't use anymore from when I did trucking, and it's a bigger one. It's for the bigger chains that I don't use, so it's a good candidate for this, and I've got plenty others. So we're just gonna cut this off right here and make this work for what we need. And we may end up just cutting this off flush here, like right through here, and welding this to the end, or putting a piece of pipe to the end of those plates where this will sit in like a sleeve, and then this will be mounted to the angle iron that moves in and out. Let me find my safety glasses again. I might have been better off to cut this bandsaw or the Sawzall, but we'll try again here. I don't think I'm getting a good ground. Like I say, guys, I'm going to clean all this up on the belt sander, so I ain't worried about what it looks like. Yeah, this side cut a lot better. Must have been a ground issue. Just like that. Okay. Leave this sit here. Leave these here. I'm gonna grab my clear safety glasses. Oh, let me cut these hooks off while I'm here. Let's just lock it right on there. Tell you, it's a ground issue, y'all. See, get a good ground, it'll cut right through them. Okay. They ain't the prettiest, but they'll work. Get some other safety glasses I can see through. Should have some clear ones up here somewhere. Now, there's that. That's going to work out pretty good. I'm gonna shorten these up, I think. Yeah, because they got that pin in them right there on the threads. I don't know if you guys could see that, but I'm gonna grind these down past that pin. So if I ever need to take these out, once this is welded to the plate, I can get them out. See that pin right there? We're gonna grind it down past that pin. There we go. Now these will go here and here. We're going to cut these off flush. I'm going to cut these off right here. Even cut them back here. Then I might cut a piece of that thinner stuff for a triangle to weld in the back to support these from folding in or folding out. And then all I need is my angle iron, and I should be about done. I might need some more half-inch square bar stock. I don't think I have enough of it. Cut that in half and set it in the center. And then have, see, I don't want to cut it in half. If I have to trim it down, I'll trim it down, but I need another piece of that. And then I'm going to need, depending on what I make my angles out of, which I'm probably going to make it out of half-inch steel plate angle, half-inch thick angle, because I know on the dumpster I got coming, one of the doorways going into the where the compactor comes in is 1/2 inch angle. So I might just cut it off of one of those dumpsters and use it for that. But it's definitely coming along. I could even cut that 1/2 inch steel plate. This is 1/2 inch square bar. And as you guys can see, that is exactly 1/2 inch thick. And I could cut out another plate, but it's sure as hell a lot easier just to get the bar stock. And then I need actually a couple pieces off this bar stock to weld up in here for when I pull electric motors. I'm going to weld a couple pieces up in here. Now that slides all the way back in there, but it won't affect it as long as I use 2 small pieces and put it up inside there beside these. As long as this, I leave a gap for the middle for that. That's another issue on itself. This is going to work out pretty good. I don't know if I can bust this off there with that. Sure can. Let's go ahead and deslag all these pieces. Go grind on them a little bit, level them up. It don't really matter though. This thing's gonna weigh a freaking 100 pounds when I put it in there. By the time I get it all built. That's good though, it won't go anywhere. I don't think I'll have to worry about it failing. Anytime soon. So there we go. Cleaned up. Some of this, because the way I cut it, it's already got a little bit of a bevel in it. So I don't know if I really want to need to square it up though. That side's nice and square. That side's not. I guess it doesn't matter. There's going to be a little bit of play in the angles, the way they slide, but that's better. That there. I might have to cut more off of these too, just to give me more slide room in here, but these things need some WD-40, but I don't want to spray anything on them until we get them welded. I guess it doesn't matter, I can burn it off there. And there ain't a whole lot of slide needed. I mean, you're talking this width versus this width. You know, these smaller ones, there's not a whole lot of adjustment needed in these. It's getting better. There we go. I probably should just go ahead and blow that off there, the end of it. But I want to be able to turn it for now. Okay, I'm gonna take a break, y'all. Alright guys, I'm gonna do some welding here. I guess I'll just set you up above me here and let you look down and watch me weld. And I don't know if I'm gonna weld the whole thing up tonight, but I'm gonna get it at least tacked up. Try to figure out where I'm gonna put these at. I may go ahead and cut these off, these rings off the end of these, cut these off and get a good flat surface there so that I can push on the other part. I might even weld that to that, but no, I'm gonna cut it off here. Actually, I'm gonna cut it off right here, and then on the piece here, let me point you down a little bit here. On the piece, it'll look kind of like this. That'll slide in and out when I turn these turnbuckles here. I'm gonna weld a piece of tube to the end of this so that that rod will go in it, and then that way if I ever do need to take these out, I'll be able to unscrew that thing out of there and get them out of the die. But yeah, anywho, we're gonna get some stuff tacked up here. And I'll probably get my little groove cut in it for my thing over there, but here's a little tip for you guys that probably don't TIG weld a whole lot. See this? Well, let me lay it down where you guys can see it here. See the tip of this tungsten? When you sharpen this tungsten, you want your grinding marks to go down to the tip. That's how you want to sharpen your tungsten. You never want to sharpen your tungsten sideways where they go around. The grind marks go around this way. You don't want to do that because your electric will follow those down the tip to the point. So you always want to sharpen your tungsten when you're sharpening it on a whatever you use to sharpen it. If you use one of these like I use, see now this particular grinder, we've sharpened enough on it to where it actually has a groove right down the center of the wheel. And of course, if you stick a bunch on there, you got to use that one. But you want a little groove right down the center of the wheel like that. And then when you come in with your tungsten, you want to sharpen your tungsten like this, straight down that groove, so that your scratches on the tungsten go straight to the tip. And by doing that, it'll help you. It helps the tungsten arc faster. so it doesn't do the on the all over the place. So just a little tech tip for you guys today on TIG welding. But there you go. I'm gonna put these are fairly straight. They don't have to be perfect. Like I say, this is my little contraption. So I'm just gonna put a nice little tack on each corner here and here. And I should have ground these and got the rust off of them, because they're pretty rusty, and it's not real happy with me. Blow the fuse. Almost to the end. I don't know if I have any more of them fuses. Let's see. Not too shabby though. For a guy that ain't welded in since 2015. 10 years since I've done welding. Alright guys, I'll be back. I gotta move this over into my other shop. Alright guys, I got it moved over here. This, like I say, this breaker on this side has a lot more amperage. And that side over there, that shop goes over there. So, should be able to crank her up and fly right through this. We'll see. Okay. We got some amperage now. Damn it. Well, fuse over here too. I'll be back, y'all. Turned it down a little bit, trying to keep it from blowing the breaker. Turn it back up a little bit. I need some more heat. I'll give the welder a minute to cool down. That ain't the prettiest thing I've ever seen, but it'll work. Looks like I need to take it down a little bit more right there. Yeah, we definitely need to take off more than that. Alright guys, that's the reason I did that. It's not real important, but I felt like it needed to set back in there and kind of lock in on that piece that was already there. See that there? It kind of locks into that now. Sits nice and flush. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of this one. For now, I'll pick back up on this when I go to finish it, putting these on and getting my angle iron and my little lockdown blocks. So until next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.